Okay, folks, it's looking good. It's a sure positive sign that the community would like those funds returned. And realistically, this is all we needed, was this just one proposal. The biggest issue you'll always find when any large sum of funding becomes available is that everybody will squabble to be the person that dealt with those funds, right? So they can claim, I was the one who burnt those. I was the one who led the sort of charge on it. Now, regardless of who led the charge on it, it's a community effort. I do believe that this one proposal, if Risk Harbor are willing to obey governance and they have returned funds previously through governance on Luna V2, I shouldn't see why they wouldn't do it for our community. But at the same time, we have to look at what TFL did a few days ago, kicking me from the Twitter space. When giving me the speaker position, why not just kick me at the beginning? I don't know. The important thing is that if these funds do get returned, they are going to get burned. It's obvious that everybody wants to see these burn. No one really cares about the historical data of what happened last time there was a substantial burn of this size. So the best way for us to go ahead with this is to burn, see what happens, and see if we get the same response. See if it, because ultimately it could be a thing where one time it helps, one time it doesn't help. And, you know, if butts and coconuts, like here and there, every other sort of thing. But no one has ever proved that burning will get done what needs to get done. What the quant team are wanting to burn down the supply for is so they can actually remint that supply later when the coin has more value, right? When we're at 10, 20, 30 cents a coin. They're going to want to remint stuff. It will help with development, I guess, and different things like that. I don't know. I'm not a quant developer, but all of these other proposals are now going to be going through and likely passing as well, depending on what's going on. The one I'm really worried about at the moment is this one. The second it reaches quorum, it's going into a passing state, I believe, which it's not good. It's going to be tight. The reason why this is not good is just it's intrusive. We should never introduce anything that gives anyone the ability to take any funding from a wallet. It's the mandate for the L1TF to alter the LUNC blockchain state to erase the 800 million in the wallet of Risk Harbor. We should not give anybody God mode on this blockchain. No one should get a pseudo key. No one should have that kind of ability over anyone else. And the reason why is, right, if we go and we look at Terraport, what are Terraport saying on the situation? Oh, not TFL, sorry, I'm getting way ahead of myself here. So if we can find Terraport, there's so many Terras, isn't there? Terraport Finance, that's the official. If we look at this, we can see that, you know, Terra C Vita are saying it's a shame that the community are willing to more or less put in a block changing state upgrade to erase funds, but weren't willing to lock wallets, go in and get the funds back before they sent off chain to like Tornado Cash and places like this. And this all becomes like everything just becomes questionable, right? All of the LUNC that's lost to wallets, like I've seen people saying, well, we should just burn LUNC where there's been no use case for a year. Okay, what about someone just bought £30 worth of LUNC and just thought, oh, I'll leave that on a ledger and I'll come back to it in 5 years? We shouldn't be able to do that. It's not fair. Lost coins are lost coins. And it's just, this is DeFi for a specific, like the reason why it's DeFi is because it's decentralized finance and no one has an authority stronger than anybody else to be able to go into wallets and take things. So everything becomes very questionable. I want to see the USTC burn. I do believe Risk Harbor will return those funds. I think it's then going to be a port of contact. Hopefully the original proposer of the original proposal then goes and tries to speak to them. But from what I heard, the ports of call and the lanes of communication are not open currently. So it's very kind of hit and miss as to what this leads to. What I always want to see in the future is whoever finds these funds maybe go down the route of getting to the point of where they're saying, yes, we will give you the funds, but you need to put a governance proposal up first. It all needs to go through the official lanes of communication. That's what you want to see, because you've got the problem and the solution at the same time. And then we're not going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 proposals all pointing towards the same thing, which is burning, just in a slightly different manner. Some people wanted to burn, some people want to send some to the community pool. It was all sort of people just more or less wanted to see that burn, not really caring what the risks are, what really is gonna happen, not worried about the historical data, just burn it, right? Just burn it. So I think this is actually a good route to go down for many different reasons that will become evident in the near future if we do get those funds returned. Now, with this all being said, USTC does need burning, and yes, reminting at a later stage is going to be very helpful for this blockchain, considering once we get a stable system in place, people will start to flock back, people will begin to speculate, people want to build projects, people want to do a lot of different things, and having the ability to, I guess, mint coins freshly is really going to help our blockchain in sustaining the system. And everything realistically is pushing towards getting that market module back, which then pushes back to the old to burn theory, right? The market module brings back the burning algorithmics to more or less put an arbitrage system in place. If we bastardize it and simplify it as best as we can, it's an arbitrage system between Luna Classic and USTC. And then pretty much there's an arbitrage that becomes available to either bring it back up to peg or bring it back down to peg. And it's no more complex than that when you simplify it. Why this is so important for burning is when that when you scale that down and simplify it, right? Now scale it up by all of the different people that would speculate on it and want to get involved with arbitrage, and people will set up grid bots. There'll be all sorts of different things. There'll be volatility, which is what we need as a crypto. Crypto thrives from volatility because the biggest issue is people don't trade when nothing's going on. People begin to speculate when they see the chart going upwards, and it's all coming down bite to crunch that we need people to start doing things and start pushing things forward and start thinking a little bit more outside the box and way further in the future, and instead of just thinking about next week. But all of this being said, looking forward to seeing 800 million USTC burn. I'll definitely be covering it on the channel. Hopefully it will be a situation where it lands on a block. We can do a live and we can all sort of have a drink and celebrate together and see what happens with the price. We can track it very carefully. I'm very interested to see what happens this time. It's not often you're going to be able to watch 10% of the supply burn, right? We've seen it once before. We're going to see it again. These kind of situations, you're able to garner a lot of data from them. It's like it's like being in a science lesson when you were young, right? You perform your experiment, you take all of the information that you're seeing, jot that down, and you've got it's all very important. I'm very excited to see this all happen. Hopefully it's a smooth transaction and it's as simple as just that first proposal passing. They return the funds to the chain and then hopefully they're burnt like everybody's agreed, and hopefully governance is respected this time, because this is becoming a little bit of a joke that people think that just because something passed, they don't really need to go by it. Dude, if you're being paid by us, you better be respecting governance, buddy. Stay safe, folks. None of this is financial advice. Beware of scammers, doppelgangers, anybody pretending to be me. And yeah, it's all my own humble opinion, and I'll catch you in the next one.